Cut.
Literally.
Is this gonna be weird? Is this gonna be like chewing on a teddy bear?
Hey everyone, welcome to my home kitchen. This week's Genius recipe is an amazing salad for making ahead. I just needed to get to know this ingredient a little bit better.
Potatoes.
So this week's recipe comes from Nadia Hussein and her book, Time to Eat. Here is Nadia to explain her very genius salad dressing trick, and I will meet you back here and we will make it together.
Often I just want to make something that I can pull out of the fridge and then just kind of toss together. And so what I found was, as long as I'm making kind of a right amount of dressing in the base of the bowl, and then I add the contents of my salad in, and then I just cover it up and pop it in the fridge. And so when I'm ready to eat it, I kind of toss it all around and make sure it's mixed really well. And what I love about that is that if you were to make a dressing and a salad beforehand and you mix the two, what you end up with a couple of hours later, even in the fridge, is a wilted, kind of not very fresh, crisp salad. So by leaving the dressing in the bottom and then the contents of the salad on top, you're kind of keeping them separate. So in that moment when you're ready to mix the two together, what you're left with is a delicious salad that's dressed, but is also still crisp and fresh.
Here are the ingredients we're going to start throwing in to one bowl, and we won't even have another bowl to wash after this. Some olive oil, 5 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 tablespoons of honey. I'm doing this in a very specific order. I needed to do the oily thing before I did the honey so that it's more likely to slide out easily. Some za'atar, which is a Middle Eastern spice blend that has things like sesame seeds, sumac, dried thyme, maybe a little salt, sometimes other ingredients. And then for more Middle Eastern flavor, the tahini, which is made from ground sesame seeds. It makes it super creamy and nutty and a little smoky. And then the last ingredient for the dressing, you'll notice there's no salt or pepper. You don't really need it once you get a little bit of salt from the za'atar, all of the great flavors, and there's gonna be some salt from feta over there too later. A little grated garlic. Super easy to just grate on a microplane instead of having to mince or mash it. If you have a garlic press instead, totally fine, use that. This all gets stirred together, and then we're going to drop in some red onion, which will marinate in this while we get everything else ready. And kind of soften, it takes away a little bit of their bite. It's the perfect order to do things in. Nadia has thought this out so well. Make all that dressing, marinate the onions, pile everything on top. And then don't stir it till you're ready to serve. Onions are going in. And this is a moment to decide how much onion in your, it's getting caught in my groove. Should have used the other side. If you have a giant red onion and you don't love red onion, only use half. Mine was pretty small, so I think it's gonna be perfect. This is going to soften and marinate, and we are going to hear a little bit more from Nadia about the star of this recipe.
With any ingredient, we get told this is how you do it, and this is how you cook it, and this is how you should do it. And I'm not about that. Let's talk about not peeling our kiwis. That was something that I discovered on Instagram, and it was one of those moments where I thought to myself, can't I, is this gonna be weird? Is this gonna be like chewing on a teddy bear? This is so bizarre. And I've got to say, it did confirm all of my fears because there was a weirdness about it. But actually, when you actually do it, you realize it's still really delicious. And if anything, you get a little bit more you get a much nicer texture because you're eating that skin on the outside.
So this is the part where I really didn't think that I was gonna like this salad, but I trust Nadia and I like a challenge. The thing is, I really love not peeling things that everyone else peels. I love to skip that step, to be lazy, and also I feel like I'm not wasting. I feel like I am getting more of like whatever good stuff that fruit or vegetable was trying to give us. But kiwis are really, really saying, don't eat me. They're super furry, fuzzy, and the thing is, you can eat them. As Nadia has proven, you can eat them just out of hand like an apple, but maybe even more delicious is throwing them into a salad like this, because even if you haven't quite gotten used to the furry texture on the outside yet, when you put it into a salad dressing, it mats down all the hair like a pomade. So really all you're getting is just this great crispness and crunch from the outer skin, and then the soft, juicy flesh, and you're not really getting a lot of the prickliness at all. And it just, wait, what's that? Get out of there. This part is the one part to pull off, the kind of like tougher bit on the end. Look at all this great texture. You've got this super juicy, sweet, tart flesh. You've got the crunchy seeds, and then you've got this pop of the skin on the outside. For the same reason that I hate when recipes ask me to peel tomatoes or peaches or even carrots, I just don't want to do it anymore. And this is a really good excuse not to. I feel like we have been so limited in the ways that we think that we can eat a kiwi up until now. We think of them peeled and in a fruit salad. There are so many more ways that we could be eating this fruit. Their flavor works really, really well in savory dishes as well as sweet, or in this case, kind of sweet savory with this like sweet, salty, herby, garlicky dressing. Just like a tomato. Tomato's a fruit too. It's sweet, it's tart, it's juicy, just like kiwi. Let's make kiwi the new tomato. Okay, just a couple other things to chop. Some cucumber. These happen to be these lovely striped Armenian cucumbers. So I'm gonna use 2 because they're a little on the smaller side. If you have cucumbers with a lot of seeds, you might want to, as Nadia says, scoop out the seeds down the middle, but these are pretty seedless. So they're not gonna make the salad watery. That's the main reason you wanna scoop out those seeds. But I'm not gonna bother with this one. I'm just going to chop and go. First time I made this salad, I ordered cucumbers in my grocery delivery, and what arrived was zucchini. It was also very, very good with zucchini. Raw zucchini in chunks in a salad. Another underrated fruit. I guess it's a fruit. Right? Is it a fruit? I think it is. It's got seeds.
It's got seeds.
You'll let me know, right? It's hard, but I'm resisting the urge to stir until I'm ready to serve. Okay, all that's left is some feta, some black sesame seeds, which are crunchy and kind of fun because they play off of like the kiwi seed. They're like a bigger version of the kiwi seed. And then a little bit of dill. I'm just gonna give this a little rough chop too. Okay, so feta, sesame seeds, and dill. Make it whenever you have time in your day. Cover it, put it in the fridge, and then right before you have dinner, give it a toss. If at that point you realize, oh, my cucumber was actually a little bit small, I have a lot of dressing, for one thing, that's fine because this dressing is so good and these ingredients aren't going to be overdressed like a green salad would be. But also, it's a good opportunity if you have a random tomato lying around, if you have more cucumber, just chop it quickly and add it in and it'll stretch. But I am going to mix and eat it right now. I'm gonna start with a kiwi. I love the skin. This would honestly not be as good without the skin. Like fried chicken skin, that crunch. Like fried chicken would not be what it is without the skin. Same thing here with this kiwi salad. It also just has everything going on. It has sweet, savory, herby, spicy, tangy, bright, salty, briny, like every adjective that you use to describe food is in this bowl. I would consider this recipe your gateway to learning to love the whole kiwi. It certainly was for me, but Nadia has some other ideas and she has even gotten her kids on the bandwagon too.
I love making ice lollies out of them. I take a whole kiwi and then I pop a stick into them and then I freeze them and then give them to the kids. And they are like eating little kiwi sorbets with the skin on. When they were little, I used to just slice them up. So I would just slice them up, pop them on a tray, and then let them use their hands to eat little bits of kiwi. But now they're bigger. I don't even put the sticks in anymore. They're so big. I don't even put sticks in them, but they just like chomp on these frozen kiwis. Delicious.
And you can join the bandwagon too. Try it. I think you'll really love it. Serve it to people. Tell your friends. Tell them to make it. I think that if more people know about all the things you could be doing with the whole kiwi, we would all be eating a lot more kiwi. So this recipe was from Nadia's book, Time to Eat, but Nadia has a new cookbook coming out in the US in a couple weeks called Nadia Bakes. In it, you will see some of the things that you love from the season where she won the Great British Bake Off, but also just equally delicious, practical, and in many cases, shocking recipes, shocking in the best possible way. Also, if you want to hear more from Nadia about this recipe and kiwi skin and some of her favorite recipes from the new book, check out the Genius Recipe Tapes podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, and like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll get all of the Genius recipes. And thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks.